Welcome
to Munda Make Over.
We have traveled all over Zambia to find hard-working farmers.
We want to share their success stories.
And where there are challenges, we will bring experts to help them gain the extra knowledge they need.
So they can adapt and make their farms more productive even while the climate changes.
We want to support them to get better yields.
And increase their income.
We will see how farmers from across the country can benefit from our experts' advice.
While also learning from each other in so many ways.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experiences as they improve their farms.
On
Munda Make Over! What do you understand by expensive?
When something costs a lot of money, Kanana.
And that would be when?
I don't understand.
When do you count something as expensive? Is it when you buy it or when you use it?
Is there a difference?
That's what we're going to find out this week. How you as a farmer can count your costs.
Let's get going. Today, we're on the Copperbelt in Kanana, Luanshya, and we're visiting Edith Chiwe.
Edith grows onion, maize, and rape. She also keeps chickens.
Let's go and meet her.
Hello.
Welcome.
Good morning. Welcome to you both.
So much stuff that you're doing on your farm. So please tell us a bit about some of the things you do. We want to know more about your farming activities.
I have a group which is called the Natwange Group. This group has been in agriculture for 5 years. Right now we have onions at our field, which is ready. We are about to harvest.
Right, fantastic.
Through working as a group, after we harvest some soybeans and groundnuts last year,
wow.
I managed to buy my own farm, which is about 10 hectares.
Big woman, landlord. Big farmer.
Farming was quite okay. The challenges I am facing, I bought land, quite okay, but the rain, like last year, looked like we would have a good rainy season, but that wasn't the case. It rained, but it was very heavy, so a lot of crops got damaged, especially the groundnuts. But the maize survived.
What other challenges?
And cooking is another challenge. So if you want to cook a pot of beans, you have to start in the morning for it to be ready by evening.
Right. So we've heard your challenges, but we have some experts who will be able to come in and give you all of the information that you need to be able to meet some of these challenges and find some solutions. We'll be off now and we'll be back with the experts soon.
Thank you so much. I'll be waiting.
Technology is constantly changing our lives, right down to how we prepare our meals. We usually think that technology is expensive or out of our reach. Well, is this true? Let's find out. Hi, Precious.
Hello, Kanana.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Let me introduce you to some amazing ladies.
Okay.
Odini, Edith belongs to a farming cooperative group, Natwange. We've gathered the members of the group to help explain how an electric pressure cooker can make cooking easier and safer. Joining me from MEX is Precious Piri. Precious, tell us about what this machine is. What is it and what does it do?
So we have this electric pressure cooker that I have brought today. An electric pressure cooker works just like a stove. I'm sure you also use a stove in your cooking, right? Most of us, we fear to use the stove because of how much power it takes. But for this one, you can use electricity anytime because first of all, it's faster, and then number two, it's cheaper.
Vanamayo, how long does it take for you to cook beans?
For beans, it's different. There are the beans that mature quickly and the one that mature slowly. The fast maturing, one can take about 2 hours to cook, while the slowly maturing, one can take up to 4 hours to cook, and that will finish up your charcoal.
What about beef, meat, inama? How long do you cook pambabula?
When it comes to meat, it's a lot like beans. There's meat that is hard, and there's meat that is tender. Meat that is tender can take up to 20 minutes, but meat that is hard can take quite a bit of time on the brazier. You'll be there constantly pouring water and thinking there's more muscle and tendon than flesh. You'll boil it, fry it, but even when it comes time to eat, it's still tough.
What do you think, Precious?
Pressure cooker, no matter what kind of meat you have, whether it's a hard one, whether it's a soft one, under 1 hour.
It sounds very good. Maybe we should test it, eh?
Now the first thing we want to do is plug in our electric pressure cooker so that we can get started. Precious has carried an electric meter so that we can monitor just how much power we'll use to cook our beef. I had Edith prepare some ingredients ahead of time. To cook the beef, we will use the menu setting on the cooker for meat. Place the meat into the electric pressure cooker's non-stick pot, add salt to taste, and add water in measure to the amount of meat.
So like this, we can leave it, and the meat will be done. When it's done, it will switch off on its own. So now we have pressure that has built up. There will be some steam, so we are just going to release the steam, like I said. So this is now safe. We can open the pot. So I'm going to open it like this.
Our meat is ready to be fried. Now we add some cooking oil, some seasoning, stir fry the meat, and then add some onion and then tomato. We then close the lid and let it simmer. And just after a few minutes, it's done and ready to taste.
Okay. Now we're hearing the beep. Is that some good news we're hearing?
Yes, that means that our meat is ready.
Woo, I'm ready to taste it. This is the moment we have been waiting for.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Now for the tasting.
Perfect time.
We were using
looks
the
delicious.
EPC electric pressure cooker to cook that beautiful meat, and we steamed it for a while, and now she sauteed it, and yeah, we're just learning how to use that.
I'm salivating, Kanana. I could barely hear you. I was just looking at the meat.
I was hoping you're cooking shima outside, but look at you, empty-handed. Or bread even.
Perfect
Okay,
timing.
so you can get it.
Right on time.
It's good, yeah?
It's nice and soft. It's very good. Well done, Precious.
Thank you.
Most households cook twice per day. A recent study by Mix showed that using charcoal will cost 2 kwacha per day or 60 kwacha for a month. But using the electric pressure cooker twice a day only costs 1 kwacha. That's 30 kwacha for the month, half the cost of the charcoal. And an electric pressure cooker is safer and saves on time as well.
For our next story, I would like to share with Edith some very basic but an extremely important practice that can help make the difference with her poultry farming, from having a flock that is struggling to one that is thriving. Edith lost most of her chickens and is not confident about her poultry farming skills. I take her on a short trip to a nearby farm to get a better understanding of biosecurity. We meet Matthew Mwanabayeke from Hybrid Poultry Farm
and farmer Mwansa, who will help us learn more. Firstly, what is biosecurity, if you help us understand that?
Okay. Biosecurity, it means keeping your beds away from any diseases or any disease challenges that you can have at the farm. It helps you reduce on mortalities. You also have time rematurity in terms of your beds. For those that are keeping broilers, within 42 days they will be ready if biosecurity is followed nicely. Because before you bring your chicks, what we need to do is to make sure that the place where those beds will be kept is nicely, is well looked after. The chicken house is well prepared, well disinfected, and then afterwards you create a brooder, then you begin layering your beds. When you place your beds on the farm, it's not everyone that is allowed to come and see your beds. Those people, they have to get permission from you, and then you need to find out on where they are coming from, so that they don't end up bringing disease challenges at your farm. So like we have seen, I think there's a disinfectant here by the door side, a foot bath here. Yes. It's for disinfecting your food.
So that's external biosecurity.
Exactly.
Now, maybe we can bring you in once as well. Maybe help break it down by Edith and I to have a better understanding of when it comes to the birds, how the biosecurity comes in.
When it comes to the birds, we have a vaccination schedule that we follow. It has different diseases, and those are the ones that you need to vaccinate against. So we have Gumburo, we have Newcastle. I think those are the most common ones. Those are viral infections. So once your beds are hit with those diseases, then it's a disaster. So like at this farm, every Monday is general cleaning. Okay? So all the food baths are changed every Monday. The feeders and drinkers are disinfected every Mondays. And then there's what we call aerospraying. So we put them, and then we just spray the surroundings as also a form of biosecurity in case there are any diseases that we have and things like that.
So for a startup farmer who has maybe even smaller numbers and is at an earlier stage of their growth, like by Edith, how costly would it be to start implementing some of these biosecurity measures?
Biosecurity in terms of costly, if you follow it nicely, to me it's not even a cost because you are saving. You are trying to reduce on the mortalities or the disease challenges that you are to incur maybe in future if you don't follow it. Because if we talk of getting a disinfectant for a foot bath, the most expensive that we are selling at a hybrid is just about 130 kwacha. If you grow your beds up to point of sale, you only sell maybe one bed, and then you are able to get that disinfectant.
I have the beds of broilers and village chickens.
Village chickens, yeah.
Can biosecurity work?
Yeah. In simple terms, it applies to all the beds, because if you don't implement biosecurity, when the chicks come, they will be very small at day old. So if you find that the immune system is a bit low, so once you bring them, or maybe you put them in the place where biosecurity is not being followed, because of their immune system, maybe they will be infected with some disease that they will find on the ground right there. So what you need to do is to make sure that biosecurity is more especially the early weeks, like the first week, second week, and third, because at 4 weeks you'll be able to keep them at free range. So when they are still small, biosecurity there has to be followed nicely.
Let's break it down and get down to the detail.
Biosecurity is a major part in ensuring the health of your poultry. Wear the right type of personal protective clothing, such as gumboots and gloves, to help stop the spread of diseases. The making of a foot bath at the entry to your chicken house and the use of a disinfectant also reduce the risk. Limiting entry into the chicken house to only people who are needed is another way of reducing risk. Keep to the vaccination schedule that is set out for the chickens to prevent disease. The cost of applying biosecurity is much less than the cost of losing your chickens.
I now know that losing those chickens was my mistake. We didn't have a foot bath for disinfecting ourselves. I would come from the field and head straight into the chicken house. We usually have a pair of shoes that we all use, but without disinfecting them. Anyone would enter with their shoes without even disinfecting. I have learned so much from Mwansa's farm. I will keep more chickens again. And my hope is that I don't have to lose like that again.
been said, there is strength in numbers. For small-scale farmers, coming together greatly increases their bargaining power.
Edith is a founding member of her cooperative Natwange, who we met earlier. The group works with IDE to carry out aggregation. Anna Mzieche from IDE is here to help us understand more on aggregation.
Okay, Anna, tell us about aggregation. What is it?
So this is where our end beneficiaries, who are the smallholder farmers, come together to meet the demand of providing the said value chain. So you find most of the farmers where they tend to farm is less than a hectare, you find it's just a lima. So in order for them to benefit in increasing the income in their households, they have to come together in a certain number so that they meet the tonnages that are there. Yes.
What are the problems that really smallholder farmers face that you are really solving for them?
Okay, so one of them is the price. So you find when they are farming, a lot of money goes into them buying the seed, the labor, all those that is involved. And then when they do not have a said company that's going to buy from them, they end up making a loss. So when you say aggregation comes into play, they'll be able to find that price, which is better than when they sell on an open market.
What crops are you aggregating through this program currently?
Currently, we are farming groundnuts, the Natal common variety, GV4 maize variety, sunflower, and onions.
Okay. But how long have you been working with IDE?
Since 2015.
That's about 7 years. Can you tell us how the experience is now versus before you started working with them?
The experience of working with IDE has been wonderful. We've learned so much. From 2015, my farming, I used to only farm maize and groundnuts. I was not aware of smart farming, farming that ensures that you will make money from your farming. We have improved working with IDE. They have taught us better farming methods. Our groundnuts, where we can get the seeds, where we can sell them. It's the same with onions, and they've opened us up to different markets such as cross-border networks. Before, we'd just farm, harvest, and store the produce in our homes, not knowing where we would sell from. But now, we plan on where we will sell them, from even before we plant the seed. It's really been a great change.
Okay. Anna, is this program only for women?
No, we work with both women and men, but we target women. You know how it is. You find most of the times the women are left behind. So in most of the times when you say you help a woman, the whole family benefits.
Right.
So you find we're trying to say 60% should be women, then the others should be men, but also women and youth. So women and youth are our main target beneficiaries, followed by men.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Anna, this has been very educative. Thank you so much. And Mama Edith, thank you so much for sharing with our people out there.
Makes sense? Okay, let's break it down. Aggregation in farming is the coming together of small-scale farmers to work and sell their produce as one. The added value of working with an aggregator like IDE includes training to better one's skills as a farmer, information and access to farming inputs at a good price, reduction in the cost of transporting goods to market, a good and reliable market, which means a sustainable income.
When it's summertime in Zambia, and if you're a farmer, it's not easy for your crops or livestock. So, how do you beat the heat and still be productive?
Matthew Manabayeke from Hybrid Poultry Farm will help Edith see how to not only beat the heat, but also scale up her poultry farming.
How do we go about summer brooding?
When we talk of summer brooding, the temperatures, they need to be regulated. For example, we take this time, So if I can check on where we are standing, or maybe I check where the chicks are behind us, you'll find that the temperatures will be somewhere at 36 degrees. So this is too much for the chicks. So there they'll be panting, they'll be making noise. So you find that their activities there will reduce in terms of feed consumption and drinking of water. Water consumption will reduce due to high temperatures, because the water will be kind of warm there, so it will not be moving as per expected.
Mr. Matthew, I have heard that these chicks are 5 weeks old. There's only chicken wire here and air is circulating. Where will they be kept when they are 3 to 2 weeks old? Because at the moment, it's October and you said the temperature was around 36.4 degrees. At 2 weeks, wouldn't they need some heating or not?
It depends on the temperatures. If the temperatures are below 30 degrees, then you need to increase a little bit. They need to go up to, the temperature needs to go up to somewhere 33. But if they are behaving the way they are now, it means the temperatures are okay, they are okay with that.
These chickens, like she said, are 5 weeks, give or take. When and how long do our chickens go into the brooding period?
During summer period, it's 2 weeks, 14 days. The brooding is done. By then, the fay would have come out, then they'll be able to regulate their own temperatures. But during winter, you can go up to somewhere 3 weeks, which is 21 days.
Okay, so from day old through 14 days.
14 days, yes, correct.
Fantastic.
So the best is to make sure that your foundation is nicely built, and then you carry on, you move forward, and then you see your beds being profitable.
I see.
So what needs to be done is to make sure that the temperatures are nicely maintained, and then your beds will grow. I think within the stipulated time, they'll go on the market.
Okay.
Mr. Matthew, these are day old. When you have the day old,
yes.
What's cheaper to use for heating? Gas or charcoal?
In terms of providing the heat in the brooder, you can use a gas brooder or you can use fire blocks. So because if we talk of charcoal, we'll be talking against our environment. So the best is to make sure that we can use fire blocks or a gas brooder. That will help us in brooding our beds.
Making sense? Let's break it down.
The challenges of summer brooding can be met with the following management practices. Temperature management. Litter temperature is important because day-old chicks will be in contact with the floor. To help adjust the changing temperature, make sure that the floor of the chicken house is laid out with material that will not absorb too much heat. Water management. Make sure to provide the proper amount of clean water to the birds to keep them hydrated. Feed. Make sure to feed the birds on time and according to their size. Air quality. Make sure that your chicken house has a good flow of air. These steps will ensure the best growth rate of your birds and low mortality rates.
Mama Edith, we've had a fantastic time on your farm.
Absolutely.
I'm thanking this group on behalf of my team, Natwangi.
Yes.
You are welcome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Unfortunately, Edith, in as much as we've enjoyed our visit ends here.
Yes, so to you, it's just a little farewell. And to you as well, our viewers, it's not goodbye, is it, Cozy?
No, because we'll see you next week
on another episode of Munda Make